Hi, how's it going? Today, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing is looking at every single legendary weapon in Fortnite and ranking them from worst to best. That's it. That's literally the point of this video. I have nothing else to do for an introduction. So subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and we're gonna get straight into this. All right, so we're gonna start things off at our number 15 spot, and it's gonna be, for me, the hand cannon. So I feel like I'm probably gonna trigger a lot of people, and I just wanna put a disclaimer out there. We're looking at, this is the worst of the best, okay? It's not saying that the hand cannon is a bad gun. With that new update where it just absolutely destroys walls, it's actually a fairly good weapon, but I mean, come on. We're looking at the best of the best. The new update for the hand cannon definitely gives it bonus points, but overall, it's just a weapon that I really don't like that much, and it's not something I would ever normally use. Moving on to our number 14 spot, this is going to be the gold Famas. There are people out there that insist that this is one of the best weapons in the game, and you're just wrong. There are so many better legendary assault rifles that I really feel, still to this day, if you like this, like, that's fine, but I just don't know where the thinking is on this one. Now, moving on to 13, this is going to be the minigun. So the minigun is a weapon that I've looked at, I feel like, pretty critically a lot. On one side, it is a very spammy weapon that I feel like caters to noobs, but on the other side, it's like, how often does this weapon really ruin a game? It's annoying to have it used against you, and it's also annoying to find in a chest. I've said it before, but the minigun is literally the bush of weapon drops. I mean, you know, you could be getting a gold legendary chug jug, but no, you got a bush. And that's the exact same way that I feel about the minigun. It does its job, and you can certainly use it effectively, but I mean, realistically, there's just not a lot of times that you are going to use this weapon. Moving on to number 12, this is the thermal AR. Really, I prefer the scoped assault rifle. I think it's better for accuracy, it caters to skill more, and while I'm totally fine with this weapon, it's something that I will use as a ranged weapon if I have to. There's just guns that I prefer much more out there. Now, moving on to number 11, this is going to be the grenade launcher. Okay, so the grenade launcher is a gun that, I don't know, man. I really don't know about explosives in Fortnite anymore. There was a period over the summer and even a little bit before the summer where they just got a huge buff, but I'm not really feeling them anymore. The other thing you gotta consider is, like, dynamite is one of the most abundant drops in the game right now, and it does more explosive damage, or not damage, but like it has a bigger radius, a bigger spread. And I just feel like that alone has really made explosive weapons obsolete. Certainly the grenade launcher is good and it is certainly effective, but I just don't see a huge use for it anymore like it used to have. And that's actually gonna take us on to our number 10 spot, which is the RPG. The gold RPG is a weapon that if I have, I like it, and it's something that I will use, but again, I found myself recently like kind of pulling away from relying on explosives. The thing with the RPG is it's just a slow shooting weapon, and I feel like players have really just learned to counter this thing. And actually, the reason that I'm gonna rank this higher than the grenade launcher is that really I feel like the grenade launcher, I mean, it has been completely just made obsolete with dynamite. The entire use of it is just gone. But at least with the RPG, you still have a ranged explosive weapon. You can hit, you can send that thing forever, and while, you know, it's very easy to counter, at least it's got that going for it, whereas the grenade launcher is also limited to a certain range. Obviously much further than dynamite, but again, I haven't really seen a huge need for these weapons. Not to mention there's another explosive weapon that is a lot better. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so for number 9, this is a bit of a weird one, but again, remember we're looking at the best of the best in the game. This is the heavy sniper. You know, the fact that it's on the lower half of this list shouldn't really speak to the fact that it's a bad gun, because I mean, if you look at the entirety of like the 60 guns in the game, it's still probably ranking somewheres around 9. The heavy sniper is a really good weapon. 150 damage with very little bullet drop is is just insanity. Ultimately, the thing with the heavy sniper is this can be ranked much higher. And if you're a very strong sniper player, yeah, you probably would rank it higher. I try to keep these lists fairly balanced between my own opinion and what the general community thinks. And honestly, I mean, if you look at the average Fortnite player, they're not going to be using a heavy sniper. Like, they're just not, they're probably just not good enough to use it effectively. I mean, if you've got a better than average player, yes, they're going to do really good. But once you start getting into the really high-end players, you also see this weapon drop off again. I mean, guys like Tfue use the hunting rifle for a reason. The heavy sniper is just too slow. So it's a good weapon, don't get me wrong, but I just think there are so many better weapons in the game. And anyways, we're going to move on to our number 8 spot, which is going to be the compact SMG. So the compact SMG is the very middle of the road. It's our median for this list. It's the number 8 spot right in the middle. I don't know why I needed to explain that 4 different times in 4 different ways. Really good weapon. I love the compact SMG. The blue SMG is I know it's a faster killer. We looked at that in a video previously, but the compact SMG is a beast. Going after someone with this thing and they're putting up walls and you're shredding them down and you're lighting them up and like, feels really good. And while I absolutely love this weapon, it to me is still not one of the most crucial weapons. Like, if I was in a game and I didn't have a shotgun or an AR, I feel very vulnerable, but I could still play without an SMG and be fine. The thing with the compact SMG is it is great, but to me, it's never felt like an absolute necessity of a weapon. I mean, I love to pair a shotgun with an SMG, but at the end of the day, I mean, it just to me has never felt like a necessity. And anyways, yeah, that's the compact SMG. The quad launcher is probably the noobiest weapon in the game. For RPGs, I mean, they don't do as much damage as the actual RPG, but just the notion of that you can just spam four rockets at someone, I mean, that's really all I need to say. With full ammo, you can do that 4 times, and really, if you can't kill someone with 16 shots, 4 bursts, you really just don't deserve the kill. I mean, as much as it is a newbie weapon, it's really good for late game battles, just blowing someone's base up. It's good for squad battles. There's really not a lot of situations where I wouldn't take this thing. It feels newbie, but at the end of the day, it's just really good. All right, so that's that part of the list out of the way. 15 to 7 was kind of like the weird, different sorts of weapons, explosives, snipers, range, like weird variating guns that really just aren't your bread and butter. The next 6 are, in fact, your bread and butter because we're down to nothing but assault rifles and shotguns. We've got 3 shotguns, 3 assault rifles. So let's just see how these dogs, these are not dogs, these are guns. Let's see how these guns rank up. All right, so the lowest ranking shotgun on this list, coming in at number 6, is going to be, for me, the double barrel. Now, if there was a Patrick that could walk through that door like 3 months ago, he would come in here and slap me in the face because 3 months ago, I probably would have said it's my favorite gun in the game. The thing with the double barrel is it's basically a free kill. If you're this close to them, they're dead. Like there's nothing you can do. It's a very easy weapon to use, and it's a very easy weapon to kill people with. But as I've played on with the double barrel, I guess 3 things have happened. First of all, they nerfed it from 150 damage down to 120, so that makes it just a little bit less effective than I liked. Still absolutely insane, but not as insane as it was. Secondly, they've increased the rarity. Like honestly, if the entire comment section right now is saying it's not even in the game, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't see this thing very often. But ultimately for me, my biggest issue with the double barrel is just that 2 and done. Really good, but if you miss a single shot, you're kind of screwed. And if you miss 2 shots and you don't have another short range weapon, like you're dead. Anyways though, that's the double barrel. Moving on to number 5, this is the heavy shotgun. Okay, so the gameplay I think for the intro and definitely what you're seeing right now is like, there's like 10 kills with the heavy shotgun. And I just got that gameplay and right now I'm like, man, the heavy shotgun's the best gun in the game. But let's break this down from a fundamental standpoint. The heavy shotgun has range and a quick fire rate compared to the other gold shotguns. The double barrel is the high power, slow shooting weapon. I mean, it's 2 shots, then slow, then 2 shots, right? The heavy is on the very other end. It's a lot faster, it shoots 1 shot a second, and it does less damage, but it has a really nice range. On top of that, not only does it have range, but it's also got a very small spread. So if you're good with this thing, you can land shots. But my biggest problem, and the thing you'll see with this gameplay, is if you're fighting people that have 100 health, it's over. And this gameplay should demonstrate that. But when you've got games where the person has 200 health, sometimes I just don't feel like the heavy is the play. The heavy shotgun is amazing when used right, but I think it's just got a smaller range of uses than another shotgun that will be on this list in a little bit. The gold pump, obviously. I like the heavy shotgun when I land a nice, clean, like 75 damage, a headshot where it's like a nice 120, 180, crazy stuff like that. But there's a lot of times where I'll land a shot, and if I don't have an SMG, I feel kind of scared. Even worse is when you miss shots. It's a weapon that really feels like, oh my God, I missed this shot, like I am screwed. It's not a one-shot kill weapon ever, so that's, I think, the big problem with it for me. I absolutely love the heavy shotgun, but again, I just think it comes down to there not being enough situations where it's the perfect weapon to have. And when I say that, I mean close quarters. Now, moving on to our number 4 spot, we've got 1 shotgun and 3 assault rifles left. At number 4, this is the heavy assault rifle. So it's kind of interesting because of these top 4 weapons, 3 of them have just been introduced into the game in the last like 3 months. The heavy assault rifle was an introduction that I think was really, it was a really good implementation by Fortnite. We didn't have a long range, we just didn't have a weapon that was this. Really, the closest thing to this was the thermal, and I mean, it just wasn't even close to being as effective as I would have liked it to be. So this is the gun that I was really happy to see this into the game. It's got nice range, good accuracy, but a huge spread. I think my issue with this gun is just like, it's very effective, but I think it's just not as effective as the other legendary assault rifles. There's a very effective optimal zone of coverage with this weapon when, they're close enough that you can, like, I feel like land more shots than a Scar or something else might, but not so far away that they're gonna light you up with like a sniper or another like scoped AR or something like that. So there is like a weird distance that makes this weapon really good, but when you're in that distance, you eat. It's really effective when it's effective, and I love this weapon, but again, I think the other 2 assault rifles are better. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take us down to our number 3 spot. Previously ranked, basically since I've ever been recording these kinds of videos, it's changed, as this is the Scar. Yeah, I think the Scar has rightfully fallen to number 3 in the tier list. The Scar is phenomenal. There's just no denying it. It's a very effective weapon. It's always been an effective weapon. It's been one of the most consistent weapons in the game as far as tweaks go. There's just been no need for Epic to change how it works, so it's hardly ever been touched. The Scar's got a decent range, very high damage, and it's just overall, obviously one of the best guns in the game. But as we move on to our number 2 spot, not the best assault rifle. So my last ranking guns video, I looked at every single gun, and this weapon, the suppressed AR, coming in at number 2, had just released, and I didn't want to yet make the assumption that it was better. I had feelings that it was going to be better, and after a bit of time, now that I've been using this thing, it absolutely is. The suppressed Scar does less damage, but makes up for it, in my opinion, tenfold with accuracy. This is one of my favorite additions that Epic Games has added into Fortnite. It is just this amazingly accurate weapon that's got some decent range and isn't like a scoped AR. A lot of people complain about Bloom, and I completely understand that, but I feel like this was the best weapon implemented that keeps Bloom in the game, for the not so good players, so people can really enjoy Fortnite still, like everybody, not just the competitive, but is also a weapon that leads itself to being better with skill. It's a very balanced weapon. It feels great to use. It's accurate. It's silent, okay? Man, I love this weapon, and it is my favorite assault rifle in the game. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new dog in town, all right? The Silent Scar had a little bit of a time there until the pump shotgun came out. The heavy pump shotgun, I don't even know what you call this, the gold pump, I guess, is not a heavy. Maybe it's a heavy. I don't even know. The gold pump shotgun is the best gun in the game. I mean, I'm a big pump guy. I've always loved my pump over the tac. I like the heavy. I like the double barrel, and I really like the double barrel when this gold pump wasn't in the game. But now that it is in the game, man, like it's over. 220 damage to the head, like just get out of here. That's phenomenal. I love that. The gold pump is the middle point between the double barrel with low range but high damage, and the heavy, which is high range, low damage. It's just that sweet spot in the middle, and it's perfect for landing a nice, beefy, like 100 damage, 110. Hit that headshot, boom, one shot, dead with full shield. It's a beautiful weapon. Absolutely love the gold pump. It is my favorite gun right now in Fortnite, and really, if I could just rock, all I need, gold pump, suppressed scar, it's over. It's over. Anyways, though, that is going to wrap up our video. And guys, I'm going to ask you what you think of this list. Let me know your thoughts, how you would change this up. I'm very curious because I would like there to be, it'd be cool if there was like a legit tier list of best weapons in the game. Kind of like how Smash Bros does their tier weapon list. I'd love to see something like that. But anyways, that's my personal experience combined with, I think, the general community. Tried to kind of keep it balanced there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. If you're already subscribed, wait, what? If you're not subscribed, subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.